a 2005 Hummer H2. As you can see, that the fan has been set to maximum, but if you turn it down to minimum, we've got just a clicking noise. I'm going to remove this fan cover here. I think there's 2 bolts, and I believe there is a resistor module that is probably the offending item. We'll take that off and have a look. You will find the fan cover just pops out, leaving you with the wiring and the fan all underneath here. We'll examine. I've got a feeling this is the item that we're looking at, so we'll take a look. A quick check with the multimeter shows we have 12 volts across the module, so I'm going to unplug the module and see if we've got 12 volts going to the fan. I'm not entirely sure how the control works, but if we increase the fan voltage up to maximum, you will see that the voltage that's sent to the fan has gone up to 12 volts maximum, and if we turn it down, you can see the voltage drop. So it's probably some kind of voltage control to effectively control the speed of the fan. So that appears to be working, which suggests that it's the fan itself. So I'm now going to take the fan out and we'll have a look at it, see if it's a problem. I've removed the fan. There's 3 screws holding it in place. The one at the back close to the floor is the most tricky. You probably need a wrench, an 8mm wrench, to get in there. I've reconnected everything back together and we'll see what happens next. You see this fan is pulsating. It's either tripping out or there's a problem with the control circuit, I suspect. You can see that the voltage is being pulsed. There's a quick burst and then it stops. It tends to suggest that some kind of overload, or the module is incapable of driving it sufficiently to make it turn. We're going to put the fan on the workbench and see if we can actually drive it with a power supply. I believe these fans take a lot of current, so we'll see what it does. Well, as you can see, the fan is quite happily turning with the control voltage. Quite spectacularly. It's alive, and that's only with 4 volts. Difficult to grab a hold of and do the video all at once, but that fan works fine. So it's not the fan motor, it's well balanced, not too dirty, doesn't look like there's any signs of real wear. So we're going to say the fan's okay, but the module's not. Here we go again with Hummer modules. This module appears to be failing. It looks like it's tripping out under load. The fan starts to move and then quickly cuts out. We've checked the fan on a variable voltage source and it works fine. It draws a lot of current. You can set whatever voltage and set whatever speed on the fan you like, and it works really well. I'm going to dismantle this module and see what we can find. Well, I made a bit of a dog's breakfast getting this part off. Basically this is sealed around this aluminium heatsink, and something is retaining a PCB which is behind it, some kind of intelligent controller, and there's lots of corrosion inside there. I'm going to carry on working, see if we can get this PCB out, and then see what we can do with that. It could be a one-way ticket, but I've got no choice really. I suspect there is a screw behind this label holding the PCB in place, which is why I can't get it off. So I'm going to have to destroy the label just so we can get in. But at least now we've got a clear view of exactly what it is. As suspected, there's a small Torx screw the other side, so we'll take that out and see where we get. Well, there we have it. We have a heatsink which bolts onto there. There's a screw in there, a mounting pillar in there, spacer to screw onto the heatsink, and there's a thermal insulating pad connecting the driver device, the power device, to the heatsink. Now that looks pretty corroded. Looks like to me it could be overheating, which is causing it to trip out, and then we have a problem. We've got a choice. We either replace that device or work out exactly what the circuit does. You can see all the components on there. There's not an awful lot to it. Power comes in, some kind of control, and then there's the motor wires coming out. So not an awful lot to this. Can't be that complicated. We can check as many components as we like, and we'll replace the ones that don't work. Should be able to repair that module if I can get it back into a decent state. I don't see why not. Take it from there. There was a track that went to a pad that went to R11, which is upside down at top center of our view here. The pad had eroded away. It actually goes to a wire, but I think the wire just goes to a test point underneath. So that resistor was going to pin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 of that IC. So I've reconnected it using my typical scrape the track and tin it, and then put a piece of wire in place. Fortunately, I just couldn't quite get to the remainder of the track from underneath the IC, so I had to remove the IC. I hope it's all right. Well, I've returned to the Hummer blower control module, which is now suddenly just switched on permanently and won't switch off, so I can't turn my fan off. Disconnected the battery. I've dropped the cowling down, which is 2 screws, one here, one down here. This connector came off the blower module just here. I've got another one to remove just up here, and then 2 screws and pop off the module, and we'll take another look at that module and see if it's repairable. For reference, the 2 screws holding the module in itself, which is here, are M8. The 2 screws holding the plastic covering are M7. So you need an M8, 8mm, M7 socket to get it off. That's it, just those 2 tools. The plugs just unclip with the typical tang on them. So that's that one, and this one is easier to get off. That one there is slightly easier to get off. So we're going to take this and have a look at it again. As you can see, I've been here before. There's a Torx screw hidden behind the stick-on label on the back, which will release the front cover. Now, I never bothered sealing this last time, and the clever part about this whole module is it sits in the airflow to keep it cool, not fan. So I guess condensation gets in, and who knows what happens if damp gets in there. So we'll have another look. Here we are inside the module. You can see there's a little bit more condensation on there, and I put a thermal pad and some thermal heatsink compound on the back of the heatsink, and I insulated it because I wasn't sure if there was an insulator on it before. So something has either burnt out or failed in some way. So I'll peel that off and we'll take a look. The interesting observation about the blower motor speed control unit is that people call it the blower resistor. As you can see, it clearly is not a resistor, it is an active circuit with some kind of intelligent device and various other components in there. This looks like the main controlling device. I'm going to buzz it out, see if it's short circuit. If it's short circuit, then it's probably permanently switching the blower motor on. Last time I didn't reverse engineer the PCB to find out how it worked, but I think this time I may do, considering the rarity and the cost of these devices to replace. And it's worth getting to the bottom of this technology and getting a solution. We'll look at this in a bit more depth. I apologise for the haphazard way in which I've described this process, but I'm going to remove this power device from here. I think it'll be done just by lifting these 3 pins off. Now they're soldered on quite well, and you're going to need a little bit of patience and care to free the bond between the legs and the solder pad on the PCB without damaging it. My plan is to put a small screwdriver underneath and just prise it up. I've used a solder sucker to remove as much solder as I can from using a nice iron, not overheating it, and we'll see if we can get it off, and then we'll find out what the part number is of the device. I've removed the power device from the PCB Q1, as it's referred to. Here it is. It was quite easy to get off with the aid of a solder sucker, and just lifting the pins one at a time under heat. Don't prise them and damage the PCB. Just put your iron on and just lift the pin up, and then suck the solder away from it until it's free. Then move on to the next one, and once you've got 2 off, you can just put your iron on the 3rd and the thing will just drop off. And then you can see that the device is an let's look in international radio, IRF 3A340SP. I'll find the part number, look under a microscope and tell you what it is. So here is the device. It is an international rectifier automotive MOSFET IRF BA1405P. And you can see it's electric power steering, anti-lock braking systems, wiper control, climate control, power control. I've measured the device and it's virtually short circuit from the gate to either the source or the drain. I can't remember which, but it doesn't look good. It doesn't look like a MOSFET should do. I'm going to see if we can find an alternative or find a source of these devices. This is with the blower at 0 speed. The input sits at around 5.5 volts. There's no signal, no modulation at all, and the blower is off. Here we have the minimum setting. The average voltage has dropped to 5.2 with a peak at 5.5. And you can see there are some modulations. It's sitting at about 35.2 Hertz, and the width of each pulse is varying according to the fan speed. So this is the first setting, not off. This is the first setting, and the period is 1.7 milliseconds, and that's from that frequency of 35 Hertz. It's roughly a fixed frequency and a various pulse width. The longer the off time of the signal, that's the longer the signal is low, is the greater the fan speed. It's giving you a kind of varying voltage by just altering the pulse width. There we have it. Run through the settings again. Speed setting 1 is 1.7 milliseconds. Speed setting 2 is 3.44 milliseconds. Speed setting 3 is 5.44 milliseconds. Speed setting 4 is 7.04 milliseconds. Speed setting 5 is 9.2 milliseconds. Speed setting 6 is 12 milliseconds. Speed setting 7 is 16.4 milliseconds. Speed setting 8 is 22 milliseconds. It doesn't look as if there's room for a ninth, even if there could be one. We'd run out of period. And the frequency is around about 36 Hertz. There we have it.